I can give you a little teaser here. I think people saw today, Mike and I did a kind of collaboration on what the lineup will look like when they're fully healthy, which is kind of a big question considering when Kaprizov comes back and Nyquist is skating and practicing. We did kind of a prediction of what the lines and D pairs will look like in goaltending, which will be maybe the biggest decision.
Yeah.
Overall, Gustafsson starting tonight against Colorado. So that was one. I did a collaboration with some of the writers on our staff for our big Fight Week series and kind of the evolution of fighting in the NHL and where it's going from here. A lot of wild voices in there, from Bill Guerin to Dean Evison, who fought Dale Hunter 3 times in one game when he was a player. Marcus Foligno, Ryan Reeves, so was Ryan Carter. A lot of good voices in there. People, Wild White fans, want to read about that kind of history of fighting. With a couple of fun ones coming up, including one on Matt Boldy coming on Friday. And then a couple other fun ones next week to set up the Frozen Four and the Wild home stretch. But it's been a fun one with me and Mike, and we're just getting ready for the playoffs and trying to get the best coverage we can.
Yeah, that Matt Boldy kid, he's been okay lately. Any little snippet or teaser you can give anyone on the juggling of how lines might shake out when fully healthy? Is there one that either you and Russo kind of butted heads on, or one that as you looked into it, you're like, I didn't think I'd land here, but I did?
I think one was kind of a back and forth. We thinking that Goligoski might stick in the lineup with Klingberg on that third pair. Merrill's been that guy all year, and so that's kind of one of the harder scratches we were talking about in that third pair. Addison's obviously been odd man out mostly, but we're with the way Goligoski's playing forward tonight. They've liked him the last 20-some games. So I think he could be at the odd man in with Klingberg, and the other one is the fourth line. You have 6 guys in 4 spots. Do you sit Sundqvist? Ryan Reeves clearly has a spot if he's healthy, right? Because it'd be hard for me to sit Mason Shaw, but you have Duhaime there. It's just, if Nyquist gets back, there's just, once one extra top 9 spot you lose from what you have here. And so, as Dean Evison said, a lot of tough answers they have to come up with, but there's also a good problem to have when you have more good players than you need, because in the playoffs, I've covered many of them. They're rarely the guys that start the playoffs in the starting lineup end up finishing just with injuries, and so you need an extra defense pair, an extra line just in case. So that definitely helps that they're built for that way, considering the Western Conference and how heavy those teams are.
I was going to say, you've got unique experience covering beyond the first round, so that's certainly good insight to have.
Mm.
And just say something nice, ease my pain. 11-7 tonight, right? No Calen Addison still. Just lay it on me. Say something nice, or just put me out of my misery with a killing statement, if that's what it's got to be.
Well, they can play Matt Boldy double shifts, so that'll help you. Matt Zuccarello can play a little more. Listen, that's not an ideal lineup. If Duhaime wasn't sick or Reeves wasn't hurt, ideally you'd be full strength against Colorado. But I don't think the fact that Calen Addison isn't playing the extra forward spot is going to cost them the game. I know the power play has been off and on, but that was the one decision I think could have been back and forth question. But it's not ideal. But I think that's what they have right now, and the way they've been playing, they've been able to find a way. So I wouldn't jump off the bridge of the river there quite yet.
No, and for me, it's more so is the writing on the wall? Is there any future for Calen Addison here, do you think?
I mean, I think it'd be a little foolish about him this soon. I think you have to see how this summer breaks out. If Dumba's actually gone, which he probably will be, and you're not going to sign Klingberg, you need somebody to play the right side. And Faber's going to be one of those guys. But clearly there have been things behind the scenes that they've been trying to work with him as a coaching staff, and you saw some glimpses of it. The St. Louis game where he got into the lineup right before the game started, played really well. He's say the right things behind the scenes and working on stuff. So I don't know, when you're a player that young that has that kind of skill set, as long as there's not an issue of being coachable or an attitude problem, I think you have to give a little more time with it. But obviously some of the decisions have kind of been a little more telling than others this year with regards to him.
There, see, look at that. You made me feel a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And last question then, just as we look at it, the Wild could match up with any team at this point come playoff time. If we could end up the 1 seed in the Central, we could be a wild card. It means we could play anyone in the Pacific, anyone in the Central. Give me a team or two that you either really do or really don't want to face.
Well, like they say in Tampa, you have to beat them all at some point, right? But I think overall, like Jared Bednar said today, like they don't want to play the Wild the first round with how hot they are. And I think if the Wild had some truth serum, I think the Wild would want to play Colorado the first round. They'll maybe play them anyways, but I think everybody's going for that first place in the division, knowing it'll give them quote unquote easier matchup for round one. Who knows? Nashville might be that 8th seed, or the Flames. The Winnipeg is kind of falling off the face of the earth here. So I think if you're the Wild, maybe rather play a team like the Seattles or the Calgarys, Winnipegs, or whatever, versus matching up with Colorado. But I think the next couple games here with the Wild facing Avalanche and then Vegas on Saturday, and then the Avs facing the Wild and then playing Dallas on Saturday will go a long way here in seeing where their standings are.
And as a writer, can you just admit that you very much want to see it be the LA Kings because there's just oodles of stories to be written there?
Oh, there's stories to be written everywhere, man. But I'd personally, in a travel perspective, rather go to Nashville or Seattle or whatever. But yeah, we'll see Kevin Fiala again soon. And I think I've written enough Kevin Fiala stories this year where the comments have gone too crazy for me. So if they play him, they play him. If they don't, they don't.
Yes, the Kevin Fiala and just the hatred of Drew Doughty. It'll never go away. Oh, man. Well, again, really appreciate the time here, Joe. Love to get you back on here for a preview once the playoffs actually do turn around and we actually see who is healthy and who the matchup is. But obviously, enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see you in Tampa.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me. And if any fan wants to hit me up on Twitter at Joe Smith NHL, any tips or suggestions, or just if you see me in Tampa, say hello. We'll catch up. Maybe we'll grab a beer sometime. So thanks so much, guys, for following and for reading. And that $1 a month sale is still going on until Friday. If anybody wants to hit up any one of our links to our stories, it'll give you a really good deal this ending here in the end of the week.
Love it. Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.